It's worth repeating, the Chiefs and Royals are not supposed to be the focus of the special session convening Tuesday in Topeka. Your taxes are. And that's another battle, one we've seen go back and forth now for months. Governor Laura Kelly has vetoed 6 plans to slash income taxes, calling them too costly. She told lawmakers come back with a fiscally responsible 7th proposal. And late last week, leaders announced that they'd hammered out an agreement. But time will tell if the legislature gets it done. We've heard from Republican leaders today, and let's bring in our roundtable of journalists. Please welcome back KMBC9 political reporter Michael Mahoney and Pilar Pedraza, senior political reporter for KAKE News. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Speaker Hawkins says that he is now talking to Governor Kelly, that she's at the table. That's an encouraging sign, Mahoney, that a deal's getting done.
Yeah, on Wednesday last week, Senator Tom Baldwin came out with a plan that deals with property tax reform, excluding Social Security benefits from the state income tax, dealing away with the food tax, which is something that Governor Kelly wanted, but nothing apparently on income taxes, and that seems to be where the battle is over income tax reform.
Yeah, Pilar, Governor says $1.5 billion over 3 years is just too much.
Yeah, she has always, from the minute she took office, maintained that balancing that budget, making sure that we don't go back into the red, even in the future, based on the budgets we're setting now, is a priority for her. And that has been what she said every time. And there was a lot of concern with this last veto that why did she suddenly lower the amount? Now we're hearing, well, it's because they had already passed some tax cuts here and there, and that just lowered the pot that was available. And so now they're trying to meet that lower threshold.
Yeah, the last tax cut measure passed the legislature with some bipartisan support. This was a
lot of bipartisan support.
Right, Democrats and Republicans were on board with this. Who's feeling the most pressure right now, lawmakers on the Republican side or the governor?
The lawmakers, for a couple of reasons. Number one, they want a really quick session so they can get back out home and continue to campaign in front of the August primaries. Governor Kelly doesn't have a primary there, so that's one of the things. They do not want a protracted special session.
We talk about the Chiefs and the Royals because in our neck of the woods, that's the big story right now with the Star Bond proposal. But Pilar, you are farther west. You're covering central and western Kansas. What's the general sense in your part of the state when it comes to lawmakers looking at our side of the world, according to the Chiefs and the Royals?
Well, of course, remember, we hear from the squeaky wheels, those oftentimes who have complaints. And what we're hearing are a lot of complaints about the idea of using taxpayer money, whether you're talking about immediately through grants and other cuts or through a long-term format like Star Bonds, but using taxpayer money to pay multimillionaires, billionaires to come to Kansas in a way that may not even really benefit folks here in central and western Kansas. I mean, you move them from Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas. That's a difference of a 15, 20-minute, maybe 30-minute drive for us out of a 3 to 4 hour drive. It's like, okay, that doesn't really make much of a difference. It's not like using that taxpayer money is going to get them a discount on tickets to games or anything. Right,
yeah, for sure. But billions of dollars when you swap over to Kansas from Missouri. To your point, though, Mahoney, I mean, an election year, this is going to maybe be a bitter pill to swallow for some voters.
And the other thing is some people are talking about Star Bonds and other financing doing 100% of whatever the financing deal is going to be in Kansas. The problem with that is that Star Bond financing is capped at 50% of any project. It can't be used for all of it unless the legislature goes back in and changes that. And there's thought so they want to do that. But again, it comes back down to timing in terms of how long do the legislators want to stay in session in Topeka versus be back home and campaigning for an election that's 5 weeks away.
Yeah, and as we've said, remember in Kansas they have this power where they can talk about other things. Mahoney, do you think anything else is going to pop up, or do you think it's just these two issues?
No, I think it's going to be these two other issues. There are others that could come up, but I don't think that there's any appetite by the legislature to do anything other than get a tax reform bill, and then there'll be pressure to look at the stadium situation.
And Pilar, what are you hearing on a potential length of this special session?
It depends on who you talk to. I know that my conversations with leadership, they really want to keep it 1, maybe 2 days, try to get in and out as quickly as possible. But I've heard other folks say, it's going to take us time to reach an agreement. However, leaning toward that leadership side of a short session, they're already working on these issues. They are hoping to hit the ground running. They've got a tax committee hearing on Monday before they even open the special session on Tuesday. So we'll have to see.
All right, we'll be watching. Pilar Pedraza, Michael Mahoney, thanks for your insight. KMBC9 News covering Kansas every step of the way. Look for updates on the special session on air and online at KMBC.com.